Did you know that in Belarus, women make up 53.4% of the population? This gender imbalance has led to some interesting social dynamics, especially when it comes to marriage. Stick around to find out why the Belarusian government is so protective of its female citizens, and how this affects international relationships. You might be surprised by the lengths they go to keep talent within their borders. Belarus isn't just unique for its culture and history, it's also home to one of Europe's most skewed gender ratios. Women make up a staggering 53.4% of the population, creating a significant imbalance that affects many aspects of Belarusian society. This demographic quirk poses real challenges for Belarusian women looking for partners. With fewer men to choose from, many women find themselves competing for a limited pool of potential mates. It's not uncommon to see single women in their 30s and 40s still searching for Mr. Right, a situation that can lead to frustration and social pressure. So what's behind this unusual gender gap? Two main factors contribute to the shortage of men in Belarus. First, there's a stark difference in life expectancy between men and women. Belarusian men live, on average, 10 to 12 years less than their female counterparts. This significant gap is largely attributed to lifestyle choices. Many Belarusian men struggle with high rates of alcohol consumption and tobacco use, which take a toll on their health over time. The second factor is migration. Many young Belarusians, particularly men, leave the country in search of better job opportunities elsewhere. This brain drain further exacerbates the gender imbalance, leaving even fewer potential partners for women who remain in Belarus. Experts warn that this ongoing male shortage could lead to a full-blown demographic crisis if left unchecked. The imbalance affects more than just dating and marriage. It has far-reaching consequences for Belarus's social structures and birth rates. With fewer couples forming and having children, the country faces long-term risks to its population growth and development. In response to these challenges, the Belarusian government has taken some unusual steps. They've implemented strict marriage policies, particularly when it comes to international marriages. These measures aim to keep talented women within the country's borders and maintain some control over the demographic situation. But are these policies effective, or do they create more problems than they solve? In most countries, marrying a foreigner is a relatively straightforward process. But Belarus isn't most countries. Here, the government has taken an unprecedented step in controlling international marriages. What if you had to become a citizen of your partner's country before you could even propose? Welcome to the complex world of love and bureaucracy in Belarus. The Belarusian government has implemented some of the strictest regulations on international marriages you'll find anywhere in the world. If you're a foreigner looking to tie the knot with a Belarusian citizen, prepare for a lengthy and complicated process. Unlike most countries where marriage to a citizen often simplifies immigration, Belarus turns this concept on its head. Here's the kicker. Foreign partners are required to obtain Belarusian citizenship and establish permanent residency in the country before they can even walk down the aisle. This isn't just a matter of filling out a few forms or waiting a couple of months. We're talking about a major life change that could take years to complete. These regulations stand in stark contrast to the marriage policies of Belarus's neighbors and most other countries around the world. In many places, international marriages are encouraged or at least facilitated, but Belarus has chosen a radically different path, leaving many potential couples stunned and struggling to navigate this bureaucratic maze. So why would the Belarusian government implement such stringent measures? The answer lies in the country's unique demographic challenges and economic concerns. Remember the shortage of women we discussed earlier? Well, this policy is partly designed to address that issue. By making it difficult for foreigners to marry Belarusian women, the government hopes to keep these women in the country, contributing to its economic and social stability. But the impact of these regulations goes far beyond just keeping people in the country. They fundamentally reshape the landscape of international relationships and immigration in Belarus. Belarusian women face significantly increased difficulty in forming relationships with foreign partners. The citizenship requirement acts as a formidable barrier, potentially discouraging many international couples from pursuing their relationships. You might think that a nation with nearly 40% of its managerial positions held by women would be a beacon of gender equality, but in Belarus, professional success doesn't always translate to personal freedom. What's behind this puzzling disconnect, and how is it shaping the future of an entire generation? Belarus presents a fascinating paradox when it comes to women's empowerment. On one hand, Belarusian women have established established a strong presence in society, holding key roles in politics, business, and professional sectors. Their participation rate in the workforce is nearly equal to that of men, showcasing their significant contribution to the country's economy. In the realm of business, women occupy an impressive 40% of managerial positions in small and medium-sized enterprises. This statistic alone paints a picture of a country where women are breaking through glass ceilings and taking charge in the corporate world. The academic sphere tells a similar story, with women dominating as professors and researchers at prestigious universities and research institutes. Their high educational attainment and professional capabilities are clearly evident in these roles. However, this professional empowerment stands in stark contrast to the limitations Belarusian women face in their personal lives, particularly when it comes to marriage. The government's strict policies on international marriages, as we discussed earlier, create significant hurdles for women seeking to form relationships with foreign partners. This restriction on personal choice seems at odds with the freedom and agency women experience in their professional lives. The government's efforts to retain talented women within the country through these marriage policies raise important questions about personal freedom and the role of the state in private matters. While the intention may be to prevent brain drain and maintain demographic stability, the impact on individual lives is profound. This paradox of empowerment and restriction is shaping the lives of Belarusian women in complex ways. On one side, they're encouraged to pursue education, climb corporate ladders, and contribute significantly to academia and research. On the other, they face limitations on who they can marry and how they can form families, especially in an international context. As we consider the long-term implications of these conflicting policies, we must ask, is this approach sustainable? How will it affect Belarus's position in an increasingly globalized world? And most importantly, what does it mean for the future of Belarusian women caught between professional empowerment and personal restrictions? These are the questions we'll explore as we delve deeper into the cultural and social implications of this unique situation in Belarus. In Belarus, cultural attitudes towards marriage are deeply intertwined with traditional values. Marriage is often viewed as a crucial step in life, particularly for women. This societal expectation creates significant pressure on women to marry and start families early, a pressure that's intensified by the demographic imbalance where women outnumber men. The Ivan Kupala festival offers a glimpse into the romantic and mystical aspects of Belarusian culture surrounding love and marriage. During this festival, young women float flower wreaths down rivers to predict their romantic fortunes, showcasing the blend of tradition and youthful hope in finding love. In some rural areas, the festival even features contests where a released rooster predicts who will marry next, adding a whimsical element to the festivities. However, these cultural traditions and government regulations often clash with the desires of young Belarusians. Many express a longing for more freedom in their personal relationships. Surveys indicate a growing sentiment among the youth that the current restrictions hinder their ability to form meaningful connections. This tension between traditional values, government policies, and modern aspirations creates a complex social landscape for love and marriage in Belarus. The societal pressure on women to marry early is further complicated by the demographic reality. With women making up approximately 53.4% of the population, finding a suitable partner becomes increasingly challenging. This imbalance creates a competitive environment for women seeking partners, adding another layer of complexity to the already intricate world of relationships in Belarus. As we look to the future, questions arise about the long-term effects of these cultural and governmental influences on Belarusian society and demographics. Will the strict marriage policies and traditional expectations lead to a decline in marriage rates? How will the younger generation's desire for more freedom in relationships shape the future family structures in Belarus? These questions highlight the delicate balance between government control and personal freedom in Belarus. As the country navigates its unique social landscape, the interplay between cultural traditions, government regulations, and changing attitudes will undoubtedly continue to shape the future of love and marriage in this fascinating nation. As we've explored the unique landscape of relationships in Belarus, we've uncovered a fascinating interplay between demographics, government policy, and personal freedom. The country's stark gender imbalance has led to unconventional measures, creating a society where professional empowerment for women coexists with strict controls on international marriages. This delicate balance raises important questions about the future of Belarusian society and its place in our interconnected world. The implications of Belarus's approach extend far beyond its borders. In an era of increasing global mobility, how will such restrictive policies impact cultural exchange and diversity? As other nations grapple with demographic challenges, will they look to Belarus as a model or a cautionary tale? These questions invite us to consider the broader consequences of government intervention in matters of the heart.